let's go to our futures graveyard, Michael. We're going to see if some of these futures tickets are dead and buried and it's time to tear up the ticket, or if there is still life and they could resurrect themselves from the bottom of the barrel here. And we're going to start with a team that actually had a trade today in the Washington Commanders, who opened the season 2-0, have been 1-5 since, traded away Montez Sweat earlier today and are taking calls on Chase Young, an offensive line that has given up an NFL-high 43 sacks on their quarterback, Sam Howell. They opened the season plus 270 to make the playoffs. They're now 10-1. Is that a ticket that we send to the futures graveyard?
Dead ticket. I think the over 7.5 is dead too. I think that was a blown, that was a bad decision on my part on the guide. I can't see them hitting. I was really counting on, I assumed, wrongly, that they would be better, they would improve on a defense that was really good. And so, and they didn't, and they haven't. And their defense has gotten statistically so worse from last year, I can't explain it. You know, and everybody talks about, oh my God, they got this great defensive front. Well, they do. By the media standards, I don't know by what Pro Football Focus thinks of them, but they don't play very good.
And that talent is walking out the door. How about out there in Carolina, Michael? The Panthers, we have a ticket to win the NFC South. It was plus 475 in the preseason. Now 65-1. Now, hold on. Hear me out. Did it take them longer than any other NFL team to get their first win of the season? Why, yes, it did. But now they have it, Michael. They also have a very easy season on paper moving forward.
Nothing's easy for them, Stormy. Nothing's easy for them. Let's just put that in perspective.
So, is this ticket dead and buried in the futures graveyard, or should we double down and take a 65-1 on Carolina to come back in the NFC South?
Don't spend good money for bad money, Stormy. Kill this ticket. Tear it up. Tear it up. It's a sunk cost. It's lost. We screwed it up.
Dang it.
Yeah, we messed it up. I mean, look, it is what it is, right? And so we did it.
I was thinking maybe Thomas Brown doing the play calling, get their first win, a little confidence, string it together. Okay, all right, dead and buried. How about the New York Jets to make the playoffs? In the preseason, it was minus 130, now plus 230. They are over 500, riding a 3-game win streak. Has it been ugly? Yes. Is this dead and buried, or could it be alive? Could it be alive?
Oh, my God. I don't understand Jet fans. They're so happy they won last week. And I'm sitting there thinking, you idiots. Like, you don't want to win. You're not going anywhere. Where are you going? Like, you're not, you're going to make the playoffs and bring Zach Wilson out for a playoff game.
They're one spot out of the wild card. They're one spot out of the wild card.
America, I hope you keep winning and don't make so you get a worse draft pick. I mean, seriously, this is what cracks me up. Kyle Shanahan's got great players on his team. They draft well. But he's been able to. The best player on his team was because he went to the playoffs, and the next year Garoppolo gets hurt and he can't win a game, and he's got the second pick overall in the draft. Everybody's forgotten that, right? Everybody's forgotten that. You know, well, Kyle, you know, he's a great coach. He is. I love Kyle to death. But that's how he got Nick Bosa. If you're the Jets, I would rather lose every game. I mean, when I get Rodgers back, I'll just regroup for next year.
Well, I'm telling you, Michael, they want to win because they think they're getting Rodgers back this year.
Come on.
A miracle.
How's he going to move over? I mean, seriously.
I agree.
Off an Achilles. I mean, look at these guys that come back from injury. They talked about Peyton Manning last night. You know, I mean, like, it's hard to come back. Look at Garoppolo. His lower body. He's still worried about his foot, I bet. I bet that's part of it. You know, those lower body injuries that don't go away. You got to plan on that football at this level in January. Come on, please,
Michael. It took.
I hope he's trying.
Yeah. With the Jets, though, it took a miracle for them to beat a team with a -9 net passing yards for the game. It took a miracle.
Stop looking at the scoreboard. The scoreboard lies to you.
Do you want to know a fun stat? A fun stat for all the Jets fans out there that think that they're going to the playoffs and they're going to win the AFC still? The Jets are 4-3 right now, yes, having the least amount of time with a lead in the NFL. The Carolina Panthers, who just got their first win in the entire season, have led football games for longer than the Jets have. That's insane to me.
I love that stat.
All right.
I love that.
Just throwing that out there. Let's go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, some people thought that maybe the Jags weren't for real. They were going to miss the playoffs. Bet that plus 155. They're an odds-on favorite to win the division now, minus 500. Is this dead and buried, Michael?
Yeah, that's dead and buried. I mean, nobody's going to keep them out.
Are any of these going to be alive?
No, I think we're done. I think that one's done. I mean, Tennessee, I mean, look, Jacksonville, everybody loves Indianapolis. They can't play a lick of defense, right? They can't play a lick of defense. I mean, they gave a 511 yards to check down Charlie. I mean, so, like, look, you know, and, like, where are they going? And we know the Texans, to me, I think the next couple weeks are really important for the Texans. I think they're a much better team, and DeMeco Ryans deserves a ton of credit for what they've done. But they're not ready to compete at the next level. They really aren't. And so, I mean, and people, I thought Carolina did a nice job of defending them. So, for me, I feel like, okay, you know, this is exactly what you wanted from Houston. We are showing progress that we're improving.
I hate to say it. I think this next one we're also going to go ahead and send to the futures graveyard, but you tell me, because the Denver Broncos are coming off a huge division win over the Super Bowl favorite Kansas City Chiefs. Anybody that bet that over 8.5 wins, Michael, they're 3-5 right now, back-to-back wins. Could they still get there, maybe, or dead and buried?
I don't think it's dead and buried yet. Look, I mean, they held the Chiefs. Think about this now. I mean, they held this Chief offense, which we know isn't very good, isn't playing at the highest level, to 28 points in 2 games. Think about that now. For a team that gave up 70 in week 2 or 3 of the season, they held the Chief team. If you combine the 2 scores of the 2 games, they've held them to 28 points. And they gave Mahomes one of his worst games in his career. Now, true, he's coming off the flu. I don't know if it's dead yet. I really don't.
I think we're going to end on that one. End on a high note. We found one ticket that is worth not completely tearing up and, you know, throwing into the burial grave. Going 6 feet under.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.